Here we go. Today, the markets are looking bullish as all get out. We're still riding along from yesterday. I am still in danger. Took a little bit of profits last night, but a great call. The end of the stream yesterday. Shout out to Kryptoni. I got my man's Mr. Isaac. We're sitting here recovering from new highs.
Grueling workout.
It was a good one. We hit new highs. It was 1,900 punches in 25 minutes. It was a great workout. Shout out to you, Mr. Isaac. Today, we're going to be talking about some rough stuff. Okay.
We are.
About the workout's rough. This is rough. We're talking about Bitcoin's biggest risk. Jerome Powell getting ready to betray the entire Trump administration and the American people. What the hell's going on with this? And some chaos rolling out. MrBeast is going to go sue everyone, it looks like. Hopefully, we're not on the list, Isaac. What do you think?
I think we are on the list. We're on the list.
That's not going to be great. MrBeast has a lot of money. So that would be a problem. Shout out to everyone in the chat here. Who we got? I want to get to the crowd. Jay Mizzle, VZ, Fat Cat, Wispy, Crypto Glassworks, BC Alden, good morning. Nicole Minnesota, Jeff, DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, Mr. Veteran Crypto himself, Papa Gooth, Peter, John Lurum, and Doobie Doo, and Boogaloo Bum, Laserface, Matthew King. What is up, everybody? What a beautiful day. The markets are starting to get a little spicy. Okay, they're starting to get a little spicy. As we go through the show, I'm sitting here barely up. I'm up like 19%. Got in this thing in 108.6. And I hate myself. I mean, I took like $200 off of it. I still got like just under 300 in profit, but I drew this damn red line here because 110 to $110,260 is acting very, very sticky in terms of our kind of short-term resistance that we're looking at here. So, you know what? It is what it is. I'm still in the long. Got profits locked in already. Stop losses up there so I can keep yapping about crypto. If I get washed out, I get washed out. It's still a winner. It's all good. But make sure to follow me on Twitter here and send me a DM if you are an NFT holder, if you're an OG member of the basement, and or if you are a Black Site member. We're getting the discount codes set up to get to everyone and get everyone that we can into the Discover Investments Group Discord. We put out some great calls. We have a great trading economy in there, man. I mean, it's me and Kelly, TJ are in there live every single morning. We're looking in the morning. We're sitting there chatting, and it kind of slows things down so I can look at whatever particular project or situation that you might be in and take a look at it, see if it's bullish or not. It's a great place, great community, just there to help people out, man. So now the markets, they started off pretty hot and heavy. They started off pretty fun this morning. We've been sort of pumpy-ish. This is on the 1 minute. And we were losing some steam here right before, market open. We were losing steam, and then we had a great release on CPI data. This is the CPI data came in at 2.4% below expectations of 2.5, which was bullish. We got the little pump there, and now we're sitting here trying to build support and continue on upwards. But man, right before we went live, it has been a little bit risque, but it is what it is. I'm glad I already pulled a good amount of profits off it. It was a smaller trade. It was like $1,500. I could kill this thing right now for another 300, but that's, if I did that, no one would remember my name, Isaac. That's the whole name of the game there. That's true. But the important part is that we've already done the call and people could lock in profits and things have gone well so far. Discord's getting you in trouble at work. Oh no. Well, the goal of the Discord is to get us to all turn into geniuses when it comes to making our money work for us, right? Kind of flip the script on the way that we know of mining fiat currency. Holy cow, Jason Casper's chicken is 50x long on Ondo. We will take a look at that. No AC. You know what? I'm in the AC. Isaac, not so much.
I actually am because I have a fan.
Oh my god! You know what? Your Quince Ocha is returned.
Quince Ocha has returned.
Yeah.
I at least expect it.
We literally just got done with the workout though. So it is what it is. Isaac's getting ready to go. Be all badass. Double knife hands action. Knife hands, yeah. What are you trying to do? Like 1,000 push-ups a day or something like that?
1,000 push-ups a day. I've already knocked out close to 100 because I did the second set with the 45-pound.
You're trying to do 100 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, I can get up to 70 without any plates or weighted vests. So
that's a lot of push-ups, man. That's a lot of push-ups. All right, now let's get into the rest of the news here. We got Donald Trump finalizing the trade deal with China. Now, one thing I will take note of, we kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen, that they were going to finalize this trade deal. We'll get into the details of what the finalization is, but the deal with China, this is from Trump, the deal with China is done subject to final approval of President Xi Jinping and himself, Donald Trump. Full magnets and any necessary rare earth minerals will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide China with what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with him. We're getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting that 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for the attention in the matter. So actually, it looks like a pretty damn good deal on the American side. But the weird part about it is that the markets really did not react in the way. It's just this damn $110,300, $200 level. It's just been very, very sticky on us lately. Good slash afternoon to the BitLab fam. What is up? We got them in the chat here. Good to see you guys. Isaac, you're on creatine, aren't you?
I haven't been here. Hold on, let me go back. So in the chat. I haven't been recently because I haven't gone to the store and bought any. But
bro, I got some right here.
You have creatine? You best believe I'm going over there right after this show, and I'm going to start downing creatine.
Yeah, absolutely. And Warrior wants to hop on a call with me about the big beautiful bill. I'm down for that. I did find out that within the big beautiful bill, I will not have to do the damn tax stamp / trust for a silencer, which was very, very aggravating. To see, I need to go talk to a lawyer and set up a trust. Unbelievable. So I was just like, whatever. I set up the process. H. Bardano thinks you should snort creatine. I don't measure the creatine anymore. I just do a fat scoop. I'm probably on like 10 milligrams, maybe more of it.
I do 5 a day because you have to drink like a shit ton of water when you're on creatine.
Yeah, water is life. If anyone, H2O, man, H2O. Always have one of these things. I have 3 of these things full around me. Water is life. All right, so back to the charts here. I am in this forsaken long that, you know what? I've already locked profits in on it. I've got to cover the news and stuff. Here's the entry point. Somehow that psychopath Kryptoni talked me into this at literally the perfect time. We got in on this wick. I saw Kryptoni's chat yesterday at the end of the show, and I was like, I'm going in with you. Damn the pullback. Somehow we caught this wick, so I'm just going to let it ride. We'll see where it ends up. But you know what? Who's not letting it ride? Connecticut. Okay. Connecticut bans state investments into Bitcoin and virtual currencies as it passes this bill, HB 7082, into law, while imposing additional requirements on money transmitters. So we see a little bit of discrepancy between how states are approaching Bitcoin and stablecoins and really the crypto ecosystem in general, compared to what the federal government's trying to pass on a larger legislative level. This will be an interesting tug of war between, states like Florida, who's very pro crypto, very anti CBDC, and on the other side, you have states like Connecticut, and I believe Delaware is in there as well, just because it's Joe Biden's state. They're probably going to be pretty anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto. So it is an interesting time frame to look at. On the heels of Trump's announcement, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that China has agreed to these trade deals because the U.S. won't go after the Chinese bank records. So they're like, we'll just kind of close our eyes to what you've been doing in the past and let bygones be bygones. Right? That's the kind of vibe there. And now Howard Lutnick talking about what's to look forward to over the course of this week. Let's have a listen to this.
You guys have set the deadline for early July to have more trade deals. We're expecting more to come. What can you tell us about the progress of any of the ones you're working on? We thought Japan, India were close. We got this framework from the UK, but what else is coming there?
Oh, there are so many coming, but when you've got Scott, Jameson, and I spending, 25 hours locked in a room with the Chinese, we're not really doing the other deals. Yes, our teams are moving them forward, but now we're going to be focused, starting today, we're going to be focused on other deals. We're going to get them done. We're in good shape with lots of countries, but good shape isn't good enough for the United States of America. We want great deals that are fundamental for America. We can get them. We can get them done. We need to open these other countries' markets. Our farmers, our ranchers, our fishermen, they are going to have just a great time. Our, you know, our machine.
Why do I feel like I'm at a used car sales meeting right now?
Because you are.
You know?
Because you are.
He doesn't do the sell on this is the best. He doesn't have the hand. I think maybe it's missing like the hand motions that help me believe this. Let's keep listening.
You know, we sell lots of equipment overseas. Boeing always does amazingly well in these deals. So this is the key to us. Can we open up our exports and end this nonsense of a $1.2 trillion trade deficit? And that's what we're working on. And you're going to see deal after deal. This is going to start coming next week and the week after and the week after. We've got lots of them in the hopper. We just want to make sure they're the best deal we possibly can make. We don't want to rush, and Donald Trump is never going to accept the rush. He only accepts the best from us.
Okay. So it looks like there's going to be more finalized trade deals. This is a good question. Let's look at this question here. I want to go full screen so I can read it. Serious question. If I'm only investing a few hundred here or there, should I really be looking at any altcoins, or should I just be buying Bitcoin when I can? Mr. Jay-Z. Jay-Z, it depends on your time horizon allowance. Now, a lot of people are just interested in a long-term outlook of Bitcoin being here to stay. And Bitcoin is, in my opinion, one of the easiest long-term buys. You know, it's even over real estate in my mind at this point because of how solidified Bitcoin is becoming with the larger financial system. But if you are punching up, if I was punching up and I hadn't built any bag whatsoever, I'm looking in the top 100, but I'm still having a balance of Bitcoin to alts, right? Because this market has been very, very dominated by Bitcoin so far. And it's because of things like what Howard Lutnick just said. It's like the larger conversation of Howard Lutnick is he is behind 21 Capital, who's going to be a competitor, a tangible competitor to MicroStrategy, or Strategy rather. And they are looking to accumulate 2 to 5% of the Bitcoin supply themselves, on top of MetaPlanet in Japan trying to grab 2% for themselves, and the United States government going for that 2 to 5% grab for the strategic reserve. So there is a arms race for Bitcoin. I think that having a nice balance of Bitcoin to punch up opportunities in altcoins is reasonable. Just know when to jeet those altcoins. You know, I do not marry any altcoins for the long term. Sure, one out of the top 100 will last and, you know, keep growing higher highs over cycles. But for the most part, what I'm seeing in crypto is they have a few months of massive runs against Bitcoin, and then they crash to new lows. So just want to be completely honest with you there. You know, I know that's a big question on a lot of people's minds. Ethereum starting to wake up. Also starting to wake up. Laserface is trying to go for 2 to 5% for himself. So you're up against a whole lot of people here. Let's check it on the trade here before we get to the rest of the stories. 1096, great. All right, fine. We're doing good there. Let's keep moving to this stuff. So we covered Connecticut. Let's go to Michael Saylor. Speaking of strategy, Saylor said the bear market is not coming back. I'll give my thoughts after we listen to this.
The asset to continue a price increase at these levels that we've seen. I mean, can it keep that up over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years? And at what point do we see, you know, winter coming again? Because that's been a permanent fixture of this asset class, right? It's gone from 0 or 1,000 to 20, and then back down to 3 or 4, and then up to 50, and then back down to 15, and now up to 110. Like, when does it drop again?
Winter's not coming back. We're past that. We're past that phase. If Bitcoin's not going to 0, it's going to $1 million. And you have all the evidence you need to determine that, right? The President of the United States has determined he supports Bitcoin. The cabinet supports Bitcoin. Scott Bessent supports Bitcoin. Paul Atkins has shown himself to be an enthusiastic believer of Bitcoin and digital assets. Ken Tez at CFTC feels the same way. The banks are going to custody Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gotten through its riskiest period. The accounting has been correct.
Okay, so what he just said is true. Bitcoin has gotten through its risk period. I will say that. I will acknowledge that. Let's continue listening.
There's now only 450 Bitcoin a day available for sale by natural sellers. That's the miners. At this level, that works out to about $50 million of Bitcoin available for sale every day. If that $50 million is bought, then the price has got to move up to find any seller that's price sensitive. Now, if you do the math, you'll actually see the Bitcoin treasury companies by themselves are buying the entire natural supply.
Yeah.
BlackRock and the ETFs are buying another measure of that. And we've got nation state actors coming into the space. So I think when Bitcoin rallies, if it surges to 500,000 or $1 million, then maybe we could talk about it crashing down by $200,000 a coin. But at the current price levels, it only takes $50 million to turn the entire drive shaft of the crypto economy one turn. And you've got the Trump media organization announcing
Right.
$2.5 billion. You've got GameStop announcing 500 million. You've got my company that's raising billions and billions of dollars. So the writing is on the wall.
So you said some interesting stuff. Like, we have gotten through the riskiest part of Bitcoin's existence. Now it's become this immovable object, meeting the unstoppable force of U.S. government. When I look at the larger markets and kind of what I expect for Bitcoin's ups and downs, more so in my mind, it's relevant to the timeframes that I'm getting out of altcoins, because I'm at the point where even like the more Bitcoin falls, the more I'm buying, basically. But for altcoins, they're very seasonal, and I think that there's going to be I'll just go into what I think is going to happen. Okay, and maybe I'm wrong, and we do go up only because we do stand the potential of doing that 8-year bull market that gold did after 2004 when they made gold ETFs approved. Gold went on an 8-year run, and there is no denying that. And they are comparing Bitcoin to gold on a macro level now. So I acknowledge all these things. What I'm looking for in terms of just general price, and you know what? If this chart for Bitcoin continues to go up and to the right, I still feel like the 4-year cycle is going to play into alts, even on a slight hiccup in this. But we performed to the top end of fib price expectations in 2021. We absolutely hit the what is this level? It's like the 3618 to 4236. We hit right smack dab in the middle of this last cycle. Okay. And this cycle, I'll move this down so we can see this a little clearer. This cycle, we've had some anomalies happen, and it's likely due to that ETF being released. We had the ETF get released and absolutely skyrocketed in Bitcoin's price from this $40,000 shelf up to the $60,000 to $74,000 shelf and stayed there for quite some time. We stayed at the previous high range longer than we ever have in Bitcoin history. It shook out a lot of people. A lot of people think that, or thought previous, that the market was over when the yen carry trade happened. But instead, it just created this massive buying opportunity. And Bitcoin, once again, punched up into the next fib zone. But there are similarities into this. There's discrepancies and similarities that I want to highlight. So the 30% pullback that we just went through right here, this is 30%. It's in the February to March timeframe in 2025. And the 2025 being the bull year of Bitcoin in the 4-year cycle. This pullback was February of the bull year of 2021. This is a 30% pullback. What I see is a pretty similar structure outside of this previous all-time high short-term range moment. So in general, the structures do look pretty similar to me. And, if we perform just under this top echelon of price expectation, my basic range is going from like 170 up to 200K for this cycle for Bitcoin. Now, if we break and we go to top echelon of price expectations, that's about $220,000 to $250,000 a top side. But the thing that I think that's different and why a true bear market like Saylor never coming back rings some value is because from this high to the low, we crashed by 80%. Now, where we're at with nation state adoption, these huge players like BlackRock and all these peeps, hammering in, getting their investors into Bitcoin, I'm actually looking for less than 80%. I'm looking for more so about a 50% pullback on Bitcoin. And so what I could see happening, where's the drawing thing? I'm just going to do some scribbles here. What I could see happening is like a run up to 130, come back down to this, and punch up to about the 160, 150 range. Another stair step, and then the blow off top. Now, if it hits in this range or this range, it's regardless to me, because in this zone about the first quarter of 2026, I'm really going to be eyeing getting rid of the altcoins. But I do expect a 50% pullback on Bitcoin. And if we hit this, just under the top echelon of price expectation, we get some wonkiness with the country having to wait off on their Bitcoin reserve. We get that 50% pullback, that'll bring us back down to about $100,000, which is a very, very psychological level. And that is what I'm looking for. Yes, we can go on this 8-year bull market for Bitcoin, but I think, gold, when it had the ETF released, it also had something very, very key for gold in tandem with the ETFs. Not only did gold have the ETFs released in 2004, but it was a reserve backing version of currency. And so gold was already being used by nation states to back up their currency. Bitcoin is on the path to that, and I do think it'll get there, but I think it's going to be a year or two of lawfare at the minimum to get to that level. So this is actually what I feel like is going to happen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Bitcoin keeps going up forever. Great. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's not going to be bad in general. That's like the good thing to be wrong about. But this is what I'm looking for. Please reduce the cam size. Can't reduce size. I can't reach. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for on the Bitcoin price action. And Michael Saylor, he's kind of controversial. There are, talks and whispers of the dangers that he is posing to Bitcoin. Why strategies Bitcoin buys could pose long-term risks despite boosting demand. Now, the buys have been very bullish for opening up strategies approach to Bitcoin treasuries on, companies. Companies are starting to use the Bitcoin as the treasury. And that is very, very bullish for Bitcoin's price. And it has been for adoption, all these things. But the Signum organization here is warning that the concentration of how much Bitcoin strategy holds is approaching dangerous levels. Having large concentrated holdings are a risk to any asset, Signum said in its report. Strategies holdings are approaching a point where they become problematic. Should strategy be targeted by the likes of JP Morgan, etc., there's probably going to be some issues there. That'd be very, very bad. By portraying its leveraged large-scale approach as the new norm, strategy may be overshadowing the valid case for smaller, risk-adjusted treasury allocations, which Signum sees as a better fit for most companies. So, really, when I think about this, I see BlackRock getting, I think BlackRock's at like 5 or 6%, something insane. Strategies up there in the 5% realm. It does make me a little bit uneasy. But, with this, I think that the signal going to the rest of the market, a lot of companies will take the Bitcoin strategy playbook out of Michael Saylor, but they're not going to be as early of adopters as Saylor has been. There's going to be a lot of top blasting in the 150K realm, 200K realm. And that's where I think the broader conversation of what strategy is doing will play out to be a problem should we see a 50% pullback. Just my thoughts, just my 2 cents on the matter.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to be nuanced about it, Isaac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm bullish on Bitcoin and everything, but I've seen JP Morgan go after some systems that I thought were unstoppable, like silver, for instance. Dave O 95 down in the Rumble. I listened to this morning. Love the news on Ondo and XRP. Ondo also working with Link sounds bullish to me. Yeah, really XRP. It's more so Ripple and this RLUSD, I think, is what's being lost in the conversation. It's not very bullish for XRP's token use case, but the RLUSD, the stablecoin there. What up, Crypto Crow? Good to see Crow in the chat, man. Hell yeah, bro. Let's go, Ada. Crow your coins. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. So now we got JD Vance. He's saying to Jerome Powell, please. President has been saying for a while this, but it's even more clear now that the refusal of the federal chair, Jerome Powell, to cut interest rates is monetary malpractice. And he's putting this comment on here in regards to the CPI rising only by 0.1%. Economists had expected a 0.3% increase month over month on core inflation. So now JD Vance is pretty aggravated with the ego and the stance that Jerome Powell has been holding. But we got to remember this. We had a super chat that got ignored, Isaac.
Yeah, I haven't pulled up.
Where is it?
Bam.
Let's see here. I'll go full screen so I can see it. Question is, with stablecoin regulation and institutional adoption, some of these altcoins do a rare few utility coins. Yeah, I mean, I think a few rare utility coins is the key word there, Mr. Frigid. That don't see that 80% dump. Really, man, like, I'm talking to the broader, folks out there, and people that are watching this are, they have all kinds of different projects. So I got to kind of paint with a broad stroke. But yeah, I mean, there will be some in the top 100, top 200 that don't see this cataclysmic pullback in 26. But for the aggregate, I like to just paint with that broad stroke. But what he said is probably true for like one or two tokens between number 2 to top 200 on CoinMarketCap. But we're talking about Jerome Powell and why the hell he's got this stance. Well, it's probably this. From Amuse, why do we fill our nation's institutions with Democrats? Over 90% of the Federal Reserve's economists are Democrats. 100% of CBO, Congressional Budget Office staffers are Democrats as well. Over the past 25 years, not a single CBO staffer has contributed to a political candidate if they weren't a member of the Democrat Party. There is Democrat bias within the Federal Reserve. Whether Jerome Powell wants to admit it or not, there absolutely is a Democrat bias within the organization of the Federal Reserve. And now with how polarized everything has become, and we're going to be covering the No King's Day, that is what are we at? 3 days out from No King's Day. Yep. So, that's the other side of this channel is preparedness. We're going to be covering No King's Day, but the polarization in this country has reached Bolshevik levels. And this is why I've been telling people to just keep your head on a swivel, get out of city centers if you can. Because, I know that we all love our Starbucks and everything being so close to us, but that will change very, very quickly if you're stuck in the bottleneck of a Democrat hellhole city that starts on fire over hurt feelings. Now,
it gives you a free excuse to open carry AR-15s.
Okay, so you cannot responsibly own crypto if you don't also have a firearm. I will say it that way. We've seen it. Like, people have been getting kidnapped, attacked for their crypto. I'm sitting here on YouTube talking about crypto. This is something that me and Nick have talked about quite at length. Is the personal security is, in my opinion, a requirement if you're out here talking about crypto. So, just my 2 cents. Paul Tudor Jones talking about Trump's getting ready to pick a uber dovish Federal Reserve chair. Now this is coming up in May of 2026. God, this plays into the extended market theory, Isaac.
It does.
This plays into the extended market theory here, man. Max Payne being up only, like, imagine that if we get like some sort of a pullback, maybe like 20-30% on Bitcoin, we make it to May of 26, he picks some uber dove and then just absolutely sends the market again to finish off. I mean, then Trump's got a hell of an ego. Like, I talk about Jerome Powell's Democrat ego, Trump has one hell of an ego as well. Amen. So very, very interesting. God. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Put a poll in the chat. I want to know what the chat thinks about this. Is this replacement of Jerome Powell going to extend this market into a gold ETF style 8-year bull run? I want to know that. I want to know that, man. Because I'm staring down the barrel of 2 different graphs that have very similar conversations in macro context going on. And this is something, how do you even take profit on a super cycle, right? Not for alt, I agree with that, but I'm talking Bitcoin here. Talking Bitcoin here for sure. God, absolutely crazy. Speaking of gold, Thomas Massey introduces a bill to audit America's gold reserves. We never got the gold audit, Isaac.
We never did, and we probably won't ever get the gold audit from Fort Knox. So therefore, we don't know if there's gold in Fort Knox. And
well, this is Elon. Elon
Mm.
said that we were going to get the gold audit, and then now he's just like, you know what I mean? So I haven't heard anything from Elon Musk. So the administration is going to investigate Fort Knox, a Kentucky-based facility storing gold reserves. We're going to go into Fort Knox and make sure the gold is there. But the weird part about this is that they've left the gold valuation at $42 an ounce. Even in the, you know, the large conversation that we see with everyone is like, we don't have enough money in the reserves and our debt to GDP ratio is all jacked up. Why would we not raise our gold reserves valuation to $3,400 an ounce and be like, hey, we just came up with an extra $1 trillion. We're good. We can take more loans out. We got good stuff back in it. Instead, they're leaving the valuation at $42 an ounce. Maybe the gold's not there. Maybe the gold's not there. I want to read this super chat here. What do we got here? Diesel. Drew thinking of swapping. Thought swapping was a token. 600 of Sonic to Ondo or Link bags. Dude, I feel underexposed to Sonic, man. I mean, like I hold Ondo and Link already. I feel underexposed to Sonic. I will say that. I do feel underexposed. Maybe Sonic is something that we need to take a look at today, Isaac.
Okay.
Just to see if it's like showing any sense of weakness, if there's a reason to get out of it. But we never did get that Federal Reserve gold audit, and it really makes me ask the question, like, maybe the gold's not there, and maybe that's the reason why they're leaving this valuation at freaking $42 an ounce, right?
Yeah.
Just, you know, asking the hard questions here. It'd be very, very bad for macroeconomic situation if there was no gold in the Federal Reserve. It'd be good for Bitcoin.
Very good.
Right?
Terrible for everything.
Something
Recession.
is fishy, right? Kyle Watson saying something is fishy with this. Oh no, is my long been robbed? Where is it?
1094.
Oh, we're fine. We're fine. It's but a scratch. But a scratch. All right, now let's go into this. Trump comments on Elon Musk. Elon made an apology to Donald Trump, regretting some of the posts about Donald Trump last week. They went too far. And Trump says it's very nice that he did that. Trump says they never really clarified what it meant. Trump's on the Epstein list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no clarification. Like, was he on the island? We already knew he had like been offered and used the airplane the same way that RFK had. Didn't mean that he was on the island itself. So that is something very, very weird. Oh, God. It's not all there, Matthew King thinks. Shout out for the super chat too, man. You know what, Isaac? Seeing Matt reminds me, dude. We need to set one day a week that we are streaming to the arena.
Yeah.
We need to go into the arena. The arena, the AVAX ecosystem is going ballistic. The token itself has gone ballistic. It's been one of the best gainers that I hold, like in the last like 2 weeks or something like that. So yeah, me and you need to come up with a day that makes the most sense for that. Now let's hop on into altcoins, the altcoin sector. Here's the landscape right now, folks. We're looking green, pastures of green. CZ can almost be released from our internal prison. And once this hits $200, we're going to let him loose. Okay. And then he can
close proximity watch.
it'd be like that same watch Epstein was on.
Exactly.
You know,
like
Doge
that.
punching up to 20 cents. That's great. Hype still moving. Hype's at $43. Things are starting to get hot and heavy. Tron down while the rest of the market's green. This is nature healing. Go over here and look at CoinMarketCap here. Going to go full screen real quick so I can check out the trending coin. Look at this, Isaac.
Oh my.
Trending coins. Solana is #1 trending right now.
That is beautiful.
200 resistance on Solana. That sounds about right. Rari, #2. Black Phoenix, never heard of it, up 779%. Resolve, up 57%. So we get these daily runners are starting to return back. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Dogecoin, number 5, top trending right now. Unison.
4K in 24 hours. Just shit my pants.
Oh, this thing, Black Phoenix? Yeah, this is crime. This is crime. This is what crime looks like on a graph right there. So, you know, don't get your panties up in a bunch and go top blasted Black Phoenix. DeFi app 48 club token. What the hell that is? Volta. This is the rebrand from EOS. EOS is trying to put a backwards hat on and be for the cool kids now. EOS is rebranded to Volta. Is there any return for EOS? I mean, they're trying. Okay, they're trying. They got rid of the old graph. Like that graph. Don't worry about that old graph. We're gonna look at the new graph,
which is even worse.
Yeah, I mean, no, in the short term, it actually looks better. Like the EOS long-term graph is really bad. So you know, maybe they'll have a chance to get some upside there. Let's go to the rest of the altcoin stuff here. We have ETH Inevitable by AIXBT. First and foremost, I want to go look at AIXBT's price because AI agents have started to cook once again.
Scam
Isaac,
them.
we need to look at the G point for Graphane too.
The G point has been decided, and that's wherever I want it to be. It could be right now. It could be in a couple months. It could be 5 minutes from now.
You've turned into a Graphane nihilist.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
down with the Graphaners.
Oh God,
I was one.
Yeah. AIXBT, we've been covering since 100 million in market cap. Currently, even with the downward pressure on the market, we're at $184 million market cap, which is really cool to see. It is got just a series of higher lows. AIXBT is an interesting AI project that's actually held up. It's talking about ETH being inevitable. Staking has cleared by the SEC as ETH breaks 2,800, crosses the 360 moving average. $2.16 billion in shorts are going to be liquidated at $3,000 Ethereum. I do want to go look at the liquidation levels for Ethereum right now. It's been slightly enticing me, even though I'm like 7 for 7 trading Bitcoin. But Ethereum is trying to entice me into the water to break that streak and to give me a bad trade. So let's see how we can do this. Let's go to the 48-hour. Go to the 3-day. See, it's still below us. It's still below us here. Let's go to the 1 week. Not quite showing those. 2 week. It's been so long since we've been at $3,000 for Ethereum. God. Oh my Lord. This is insane. Look, it's not even showing. 6 months. How far back do I have to go? This is pain visualized. Okay. I mean, yeah, so up here, actually, we just saw 4.8 bill at a price of 2,875. So $4.58 billion in liquidations happen at $2,875. Let's hop on over to the chart and see what, because a lot of people are having a lot of fun shorting ETH and kind of dancing on its grave. Holy God, look at this, Isaac. Dude's like at $4.5 billion of shorts going to get liquidated at 2,875. I think they actually just had it happen. Let's go here. Let's go. This is crazy. Dude, I got to zoom. Oh my God, it absolutely did. Look at this. So $2,880 was just hit on Ethereum. And you had to zoom out to like the 6 month to see the liquidation level on this. And sure as all get out, $2,875 meant $4.5 billion in liquidations. It was a good reminder from Nicole, administrator. We got to look for shirts for her. Yeah. We got to look for shirts for Nicole. Nicole, what size are you? Send me. It's been a while since I've seen you, Nicole. That's a good reminder. Let me know what size you are, Nicole. I'll see if I can find some for you here. Because I know we got at least some types of shirts. We got shirts all over the place. We got shirts coming out of our ears. Now, okay, so we just watched $4.5 billion get liquidated
live on air.
God, dude, that is crazy. That literally just went down. Was this like maybe an hour ago, a half hour ago? Teddy's giving me the reminder on Mamo. I want to buy that Mamo. Let's see if I can find it. Find a good entry point on it today too. So, ouch. AIXBT highlighted this. Now we head on over to the regulatory side for Solana and its ETFs. Conversations around the nuances of staking Solana in ETFs is getting underway between the SEC and hopeful Solana ETF issuers. This would be very, very good for Salami. In terms of the charts, you know, I don't think Salami's done, but it looks scarier than hell right now. Not gonna lie, NGL. Salami looks scary. So let's go to Solana US. Let's go to Binance. Okay. So here it is. We got Solana. It is, you know, it's been building an upward trend. We got an upward trend line. Ethereum and Solana have been really enticing. Look at this.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, you're not here. Now, what I'm looking at, we got to back up here because I want to see what kind of headwinds we're going to run into when we get up into that $200 spot. Let's see here. So about 200 right there. That's OG resistance. That is OG.
Resistance.
Yeah. Got to paint that one red. Watch out. So if I'm scalping this, if they do entice me in here, I gotta really watch that $200 level. And there's a ton of people that top blasted this thing above $200. Mind you that. It's still right in this internal red weekly dot, but the last internal-ish red weekly dot that we got on this thing really didn't mean much. Let's go to the scariest thing about this is the money flow. This would be the psyop of a century if you have the money flow move from red deep into the green, slight red, and then back into the green again. God. That is crazy. Shout out to Jose, best channel here. Don't even crypto, just like seeing the basement dwellers comments reminds me of being a teacher's assistant in special ed class. Shout out to you, Jose.
I don't think, is that a compliment?
Yeah, that's a compliment. What are you talking about, man?
My bad.
Short buses are aerodynamic. What are you talking about? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That Solana chart is crazy. Bank of America CEO is now saying the bank is developing its own crypto stable coin. We know crypto's here to stay. They're developed like JP Morgan, now Bank of America. The bigs are all getting in. We have Congressman William Timmons requesting all documents related to the SEC's past inconsistent treatment of Ethereum under the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, and the Biden administration. The war on crypto is over. Now they're looking into how this war was perpetrated against crypto, how America ended up so far behind the rest of the world when it comes to crypto integrations, adoption, because, hey, Tether is one of our biggest buyers of bonds. We have to figure out why we slowed this down. Tether could be number 2, right behind Japan, if it wasn't for dirty Gary Gensler. So that is the question for, the larger administration at hand. Not one I can offer advice on. Yes, I'm a... Drew, are you aware that you have 2 blockchain basement accounts streaming live on Rumble? I'm happy with 1. 2 is better. Yes, Colonels. One of them is our personal Rumble account. The other one's the actual channel account. We have 2 of them. We're just going to keep pumping on 2 of them. It is what it is. Now we get into, so our bags are collapsing up, but society is collapsing downwards, folks. This is the great dichotomy of being involved and being a nerd of crypto while also being armed and ready for civil unrest. We're going to talk about our position of strength that we hold here in the blockchain basement. The federal judge in the United States has rejected California's request to immediately block Trump from using the Marines and the National Guard to enforce law, according to CNN. Some federal judges trying to stop Trump from blocking this civil unrest from going down in city centers. Isaac, you think you're going to get in there quick enough to get sent down to Los Angeles? What's your thoughts on this? You're about to go in to the armed forces here.
Send me in the next 4 months, yes. Send me, I'm ready. All this pent-up rage and anger from Graphane I want to take out on protesters.
Oh, we forgot to look at Graphane, too.
No, don't look at it.
We got to look at it.
It's at
that's a good reminder.
Cap, by the way.
That's huge. That's huge.
Is it
Let's go to
huge?
Griffane. Griff Payne.
Dude,
Griff Payne.
do I cheat it live? That's the question. I'll cheat it live right now.
I mean, cheating it live is the only way to go.
You're right.
What are we at here? $57 million market cap. Okay, Nicole Minister, large or Excel? Okay, good looking out, Nicole. I'll go look after this show here. I already got my workout done. So you're like slightly up on the week. Year is pain. Year is Griff Payne.
What do I swap into though, guys? I want the chat to tell me what it has to be reasonable. If it's dumb, you're banned.
What about Mammo?
Mammo? Oh, it's probably good.
Yeah, what about Mammo?
You could do base on
Dude, Mammo's so up. It's so uppy. It's so uppity.
Up.
Let's
uppity.
see here. Camino's a good one. Marinade's a good one. They're giving us the great reminders here. Bloom or some shit. All right, let me ask you this, Isaac. Do you want to stay in the
base ecosystem? That's what I
okay,
want.
you want to stay in the base ecosystem. Now you're looking for DeFi or AI, you know?
DeFi or AI? Low key, I think I want another AI play.
You want another AI play?
Ammo's kind of pumpy though, so
Dude, just get Mammo then. Mammo's on base and it's an AI agent that's with Moonwell. Like we know Moonwell's got an in. Moonwell's got a good in.
Solo apparently.
Yeah, Mammo, honestly, that's me. That's me. Should I jeet my ADA? Ellie says I should jeet my ADA. See, if I jeet my ADA, DZ's gonna bully me, you guys. DZ,
you don't want to get bullied by DZ. DZ will fuck up your feelings and forever rug you of anything.
No, he's, you know what, DZ, he's a decentralization maxi, and Cardano is an ethos play for me. Yeah. Baden TradFi thinks you should just get a solid pick, probably in DeFi instead of the agents. You know, I'm in on my mind, I'm thinking either Mammo or Marinade. Let's go look at Marinade. Because you like Solana.
I do love Solana. I just friggin' what's it called?
Look at Marinade's pumping. 9% on the day. Jeez, she's pumpy.
I just got my USDC on base. So. Marinade is pumpy.
Yeah, Marinade's pretty damn good, dude. And Marinade's got that ETF action going for it, like institutional ability to. That's a Solana staking conversation that we just covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's all playing into this Marinade staking because Marinade is one of the main movers here. Let's go to DeFi. Morpho is a keeper. Yeah, Morpho's been crushing it. I backed the truck up on Morpho at 87 cents, and I am so happy with that choice. Let's go to Marinade on DeFi Llama. See what we're looking at here. Okay, so God, that TVL though, she's thick. She be thick. Token price. God, are you seeing this, Isaac?
Is that Marinade?
This is Marinade, man.
Jesus Christ.
And you don't have any DeFi plays.
I have no DeFi plays.
Like I'm light on AI. You're light on DeFi.
I just bought USDC on base, so I'd have to swap it back over real quick. It's not letting me send anything. All right. I'll figure it out in a little bit.
It's not letting you send anything. Oh, man, you got rugged. All right, back to the summer of love.
Yes, I love it.
All right. After technical difficulties, Gavin Newsom announced some big stuff against Trump late last night. Let's have a listen to this.
Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. We honor their bravery, but we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, Kids afraid of attending their own.
This is so old school Democrat. Won't somebody think of the children? What, you're saying that children should be afraid of our armed forces? Is that really what you're implying here, Gavin? You prick. You know what? The hair, though, pretty good hair. It's better than my hair. Let's keep going.
Own graduation. Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles, well beyond his stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point.
Man, he is up in the rhetoric against Trump here right there.
Someone take his butt plug out.
He's like, what are the kids are supposed to be afraid of the military now? Like, shut the hell up. You're so ridiculous. I got to read these Rumbles chats here. Some dude just ate 2 brioche turkey provolone sandwiches with pepper, Evo mustard, mayo, and chopped lettuce and toasted bun. God,
You know what I'm going to do for lunch here?
what?
Spice Corner. Indian food.
Spice corn? No. No.
I
The kids talked to me. I got to get the kids hamburgers. They wanted hamburgers. God.
You can go get them hamburgers. I'll get you something.
Dude. All right. So you bet. Kearns lives in Los Angeles, about 3 miles away from the war zone. It's terrible. He's saying it's pretty bad. The majority of people here have no cause. All they want to do is loot and riot. Well, imagine.
Go out there and fight.
Huh?
Go out there and fight.
Oh, dude. Oh, I was trying to warn people against that. Let the military go handle it. Look, the military's moving in. The tanks have arrived in D.C. now. The tanks are rolling around Washington, D.C.
Someone like fucks around and gets their face blown off by a tank round.
Oh my God. And then Ellie's in Denver. She heard explosions last night. I got a bunch of bandmates that are out in Denver. They're also videotaping like literal explosions and little mobs going around. So this is why, I was like, we're going to do great in crypto, but honestly, society is crumbling before us. So yeah, Palantir is about to be used. Oh no. Oh, it's getting crazy. Just be careful out there. Good job having an AR-10. Good job being, but you know what? This might be the view here soon for Marines. Someone was talking about taking a stand against Mexican food. I shall never.
This taco is pretty good, but things are getting a little crazy out here. Not sure this was the best spot for lunch.
That's gonna be Isaac, right? Oh my God. Yeah, Mexican food stays. This is the thing, is that it wasn't necessarily Western society, European society. That was one of the bigger reasons why Europeans started venturing out to new countries. And eventually they say they were, invaders or whatever. They're just winners, right? It's not invasions, it's winning. They went to go get spices because things need to taste delicious. Okay. And we have the spices. By God, we have the spices. We have the technology. We can build back better. Sound like Joe Biden right there, but I am very, very passionate about good spice in food. Oh my God. Chat is just absolutely.
Oh, this is great. Holy shit.
I got him a little lit up with it. It's not invasions. It's called winning. Okay. There's a difference. God. Okay. Now businesses are boarding up in LA. This is again, BG on the scene. Brendan Gutenschwager. He's just giving us some highlights. Businesses are getting ready for the mass protests to actually get worse and worse. Down in LA, Washington, D.C., Austin, Texas, New York, obviously, New York City. Things are about to get ugly. Also, Isaac, heads up, in Atlanta, I am seeing the same type of movements happen here in Atlanta. So just in our local jurisdiction, if you are CCW in it, maybe just add an extra one of these babies, maybe.
I keep 6 by my side at all times.
Yeah, just a little extra juice in the gasoline tank there.
Nothing wrong with being safe.
Yeah. Speaking of being safe, Elon Musk now wants to launch robo taxis for Austin and LA. He's thinking Austin over LA for the robo taxi launch.
Good idea.
Yeah, you might want to, but honestly, Austin is going to follow in tandem with LA. This is the same funding pattern, in my opinion, that we saw to the Summer of Love that caused $80 billion worth of damage, killed police officers, citizens alike, and created one of the biggest, rifts between Democrats and Republicans this country has seen since the Civil War itself. So it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better, in my opinion. I wish I could say, oh, everything's going to be calm and they're going to calm down the rhetoric. They're not going to. They're not going to. And it looks like the Elon release of these robo-taxis, the launch is coming June 22nd. Being super paranoid about safety, so this date could shift. First Tesla that drives itself from factory end of the line all the way to the customer house is June 28th. So people are literally going to be buying Teslas. The Tesla is going to drive itself off the factory line straight to the person's house. Absolutely crazy. Would you buy it? I'm still not going to buy a Tesla. I'm still a Toyota Maxi. What are your thoughts on getting a Tesla? No?
Yay.
I mean, what else? I mean, why would you not get a Tesla? I mean, because
why would I not? Because I like the sound of my exhaust blowing at electric cars. And I'm flying past them while they sit there and complain with their I bought this Tesla before Elon went crazy stickers.
Yeah. I just like knowing how to fix them. Right. I like being able to like swap an axle out or swap whatever large system I need to out of it. If I, if I'm in the situation where, because I have been in this before things got good and I got positioned where I'm at, like I had, a moment where all of my vehicles broke and I just buckled down for a few months and fixed them all myself. I
also don't like the fact that there's like 2 lithium batteries on the underside of a Tesla that are literally active bombs.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
I would rather stay away from the fact that if you light the Tesla on fire, it's most likely going to blow up and kill a bunch of people.
Jesus Christ.
So
I mean, you ain't lying here. I found out this, and this is very, very cool. Actually, I really wish I would have done this previous. Now I can use this Travela company, and I can pay for my flights with Tether. Straight up. Literally no banks. No conversion to fiat currency, straight up buying the flights with Tether. God. Next time, Isaac. I just found this morning. I had to go over it, because, now that, I'm getting in the groove of trading, taking trips is a lot of bit easier these days for me.
Yeah.
Where's the trade at? Speaking of, where is that? Let's go to the trade here. Let's zoom in. Where are we at? Where are me gains at?
5.
Oh, we're doing great. It's bouncing nicely off this. Oh wait, I got to show this.
You do.
We're bouncing nicely. That's great. All right, fine. Maybe I'll make even more money off this. Good to see. Now we talked about MrBeast and this whole water well dispute, and now MrBeast came out with a statement. So this is in response to iHypocrite. They're talking about the wells being built by MrBeast have not been maintained. Yada yada yada. MrBeast comes out and says, when pages spread straight up lies like this with zero proof, in his words, the wells are still operational. Should he sue them? I'm so over people tearing down his name for clout. It's so effing annoying. I rarely see MrBeast curse. I can tell he's pretty pissed about this, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
You're out there like dedicating like millions of dollars to water wells, and then later on, they're like, you didn't keep them going. They don't work anymore when they literally are still working. That'd be very, very aggravating. And I think you should sue him. And again, to clarify at the beginning of the show, I don't think we're at risk of being sued because we're actually on his side. But you know what? More power to you, because that's pretty hardcore slander. He's got a lot of money to go after people. Yeah, I mean, he gifted those, right? Now, I'm wondering, should I get one of these things? Look at these Hydraxes. Have you ever seen one of these?
I have not.
Let's look at these. These are adorable. Look at this thing.
Yeah, that's adorable.
I love it. Yeah. He's like saying mama, saying mama over and over again. This thing is adorable. I kind of want to get one. The teeth are a little bothersome though. The teeth are a little like that move right there.
That's like
son
your
of
dog
a-
when I was over at your house the other day. Bite my fucking head off. That was so funny.
You
I did,
growled at Roomba.
yeah.
Okay,
know,
so Isaac
at Hoover.
growled at my dog. My
Yeah,
dog is not
was-
like something I would growl at. Even every single day I get home, I plop on the couch and he stomps his 120-pound body on me
Mhm.
and looks out the window to make sure that no one followed me home. This is the stance. This is my view. I would not growl at a cane corso.
I
Isaac.
actually would do that at Hoover because Hoover
It's
was
not a
being
great idea.
was being a little ass. And yeah,
I
I was
just-
getting my head bit off. It was so funny.
You know, don't do it. You know,
No,
don't
not
do it.
smart. Not smart. Lessons were learned. What lessons were learned as I looked in his eyes and he's like, oh,
Yeah, he got real close to you. He's like moved in and like got real close, and he's like,
I just looked at him and he just snaps at me. I'm like, oh shit.
And now the Dave Portnoy crash out continues. I think I might have gotten to Dave Portnoy. Now he's on Fox News talking about his height and his tippy toes.
Because they say you're a shorty or something like that.
5'10" and a half.
All right, let's just go ahead. Dave, stand right there. I am 6 feet tall. All right.
I'm
Chris?
5'10" and a half.
All right.
The haters will be out in full force.
Okay. How's it look?
I'm 5'10" and a half, maybe 5'11".
Okay, Chris, how tall? You're even. You're even. All right.
So, and how tall are you?
Take that, internet.
How tall are you?
I'm about 6 feet.
All right, then I'm 6 feet. Listen, people want to come.
See, I doubt this guy's about 6 feet. They probably both wear those like high heel men's shoes
Yeah.
to make him taller. You know, because this guy's stature.
to the ground. They want to hate on me for
Right.
different reasons. They come at the height. That's the best they can do. It's
Okay.
a blatant lie.
Listen, I know you've got, we were just talking about the pizza. You've got the One Bite Pizza Fest coming up.
Yeah.
They immediately moved to pizza. All right. Well, I'm still opinion. Dave is looking like he's about mid-5s. And there ain't nothing wrong with it, right? But there is, you know, obviously it's hurt his ego pretty heavily. I'm going to continue to tag Dave Portnoy and crash out on him over his height. They are both 5'6". Shin implants 100%. Unbelievable. And you know what? Pat McCrotch is bringing up a good point. The dog was just trying to alert me of the dangers of the white devil being inside of my home. Right?
You know, that is a very true take.
Man, I mean, he's just keeping me safe here. All right, so guys, the markets are looking juicy. Honestly, I should have asked you at the start of the show. I'm wondering if I should clip the rest of this trade and just take the 20, maybe 25% that's left to gather on it. Stop loss in profit. You know, I'm riding into, what is it, Wednesday? I only got a few more days to comfortably trade. Division thinks I should clip it and look for the next entry point. Let's just look at this. Like, how strong is this stuff really looking? We're starting to now move to the downside on the MACD on the 4 hour. Not a great sign. Now we're starting to see this freaking MACD crossover. Unwell crossed over right here. Ugh. Right, and that was that local high right there. Yeah, because I'm still leaving these levels on. Like the 106.3 looks juicy. The 108.5 spot looks juicy. I know the 107.7s also. Like each one of these shelves, I'm trying to see if we can get a washout down to for another long. I could just take these profits. Maybe I will. But I'm a little psycho. So we got Maxwell out there short and ETH from 28.74. It works until it doesn't work, baby. Works until it doesn't work. David Middleton looking for that 91.9 level to wash out that CME gap. Boy, howdy. If we get that I got to draw a level at that CME gap just in case, because it's not listed here on my L Bank account. And also, I'm working on everyone that's got L Bank accounts. Make sure you are emailing office@Hit Network to get into the trading chat. And I am gathering all of your messages you're sending me on my Twitter account to get you guys a very good discount for the broader ecosystem of the Discover Investments Group. Send those DMs to @Truth Crypto. I'm collecting them there. And you can get into the Discover Investments Group trading side literally for free, just with an L Bank user ID. You can send that to me or in the office@hitnetwork.com email address there. But yeah, I'm riding this market. Make sure to support our channel sponsors to you guys. we have great channel sponsors here. We have Bitcoin IRA, which is one of the best places to, if you're a long-term believer of Bitcoin and you're kind of like me where you see the problems in the greater financial system, give this number a call. Bitcoin IRA 877-936-7175. Again, 877-936-7175. Let them know the Blockchain Basement sent you. And this is where you can get your IRA started with Bitcoin. You can trade over 75 crypto projects within their environment. You can take advantage of that tax leverage that you get from an IRA to maximize that retirement growth. And also, if you're not already doing it, you're doing it wrong. Cold custody, a balance of IRAs and cold custody for ourselves. These are Arculus cold storage wallets. Get yourself one with a discount. Try Base 20. I think we got a 20% off deal going right now. We can take advantage of that. It's one of the easiest cold storage wallets to use on the planet. With that all being said, I live and appreciate all of you down in the chat. Wispy, what is up? I got you a DM coming back, my good man. Mr. Patton McCross, shorting ETH should be a full contact sport. David Middleton looking for that CME washout. Tommy Marin, Ellie, Lasers Go Pew Pew, all the people, Michael Moore, Kyle Watts. I'll be seeing you guys early morning in the Discover Investments Group Discord. Me and Kelly are going to go eat. Are you about to cook some food?
No,
He's about. Oh, he's going to do a space. All right. I'll see you guys real soon. I love and appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.